Good morning. Welcome to the conservatory on a rather damp Monday, rather later than usual. So I'll give it a moment or two in case anyone's going to join me live today, but I appreciate that it's 11 o'clock rather than 9:30 when I usually start, so it may not be practical for people to join me today. But I'm here because I committed to showing up this morning. And it's been a different morning. The reason I didn't do my meditation this morning at 9:30 as I would have normally done was that I had a call, or I was contacted this morning by a client for an emergency appointment. Now, I remember during my hypnotherapy training being told we are not an emergency service, and that is normally how I work. But this was a different situation, and I made the split-second decision at about 8:30 this morning that I was going to help this client, and that it was highly unlikely I would be done in time for a 9:30 meditation. And it was exactly the right thing to do. And I guess as a result of that, I'm in a very different place now than I would have been had I sat as expected at 9:30 this morning. And all the things that I was going to talk about today have kind of dissipated a bit. So instead, I'm going to talk about addressing the unexpected. And the fact that things change. So I could easily have said today, it's not convenient, I can't do this now, let's make an appointment for later in the week, even later in the day. But on this occasion, my intuition told me that this needed to be dealt with, and I needed to be there, and that was my choice. And as a result, I'm in a different situation now. My day is going differently, and everything looks slightly different. And that's fine, because we get stuck into believing that we know how things should be. We know how we should do things. And I think one of the really important things is to retain flexibility. To be open to change. Because we never know what that change may bring. Sorry, that's the dog. Yeah, we never know what the change may bring. When we accept that the path that is in front of us is maybe not the path that we thought was going to be in front of us at this particular point. And sometimes opening up to change can bring amazing transformation. And sometimes it can feel like everything that we wanted has fallen apart. And sometimes those two things are the same thing. When my life changed totally unexpectedly 8 years ago, when I contracted a virus which made me ill And then I found I couldn't get over the illness, and gradually over time I realised that actually this was serious. And as many of you know, I was eventually diagnosed with chronic fatigue, or ME, or in fact post-viral fatigue syndrome is what it was called by my doctor at the time. And I had a choice to make, whether I tried to go back to how things were, what I thought my path was, or whether I adjusted to the new path. And in my case, it always felt to me as if actually there was no choice. And in a way, it became, once I realised that going back wasn't an option, I also realised I didn't want to go back, because I'd been given the opportunity to change things in a way that I never thought I was going to get. I guess I'm aware that this is all kind of feeling a bit disjointed today. It's interesting. It feels very different to me to be talking to you at 11 o'clock, and it's lovely to see that there is somebody here now. I was just explaining that I made a decision today to go with a call that came in this morning that postponed my opportunity to sit here in front of you today. And it's just made me think about choices and about changing and about going with different paths, and not assuming that we know the way that our day is going to go, let alone the way that our life is going to go. And actually being opening up to doing things differently, to changing things, to going with the flow, and to responding to what appears in front of us. And it's the same thing, however you do it. When I sit down with a client, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what that person's going to say. There's a phrase that we heard over and over again in my training: deal with what emerges. And it's the same in life. When I woke up this morning, I thought the one thing I knew is that I was going to have a straightforward path to sitting on my mat at 9:30, talking to you, and then getting on with the rest of my day. And that's not what happened. So the difference in my week has made a difference in someone else's week, which I hope and trust will have made a difference in the week of the people around that person, or the day, or the hour. Deal with what emerges. I'm feeling there must be an appropriate yoga quote to bring in there, but it's escaping me. But ultimately, it's all the same thing, isn't it? Be with what is. I guess in terms of yogic philosophy, it's letting go of attachment, not being attached to how things were expected to go. Dealing with what emerges and moving on. So I am letting go of the attachment to saying something meaningful and helpful to you in these few introductory comments. I am taking the opportunity to sit here in silence with anyone who is watching, whether live or on replay. And if no one ever watches this video, that's fine too. Because showing up for you, even a little later than usual, has meant that I've stopped and sat here on my mat for a few minutes when I otherwise wouldn't have done. So I invite you to join me in connecting to the earth, feeling your feet, whichever part of your feet are resting on the ground, feeling them connecting and engaging to the ground. allowing them to be supported by the earth beneath, whether it's immediately below you or several stories down. Allowing that sense of your feet connecting to the earth to travel up through your legs into your hips, so that your sitting bones rest down onto whatever it is you're sitting on. If they haven't already done so, let your eyes gently close or simply soften your gaze and rest the focus downwards. And as your feet engage and connect through the legs to the hips, let the sitting bones rest and allow your spine to feel supported. As your tailbone rests down, maybe there's a little sense of the breastbone lifting, supported by the earth beneath. And let your shoulders release and soften and let go. Let your head simply rest on your spine. And bring your awareness to your breath. And whether you feel that you know exactly how today is going to pan out for you, how this week is going to pan out, or whether you are aware that things could change at a moment's notice, be with that feeling. Be open to the possibility of change and to feeling in what opportunities changes can bring, even if when they happen they feel like the opposite of an opportunity. Opening up to the lessons that come to us from any change in life circumstances. Trusting that we are here for a purpose. That you are here for a purpose. Letting your breath simply come and go through your body. And if it's helpful, you may want to bring your hands to rest on your heart center. That space in the center of your heart, the center of your body at heart height, your heart chakra. And as you feel the beat of your heart and the rise and fall of your breath, allow yourself to open up to all possibilities. To be with the potential of life itself. Keeping that connection with the earth, that connection of the crown of your head up towards the skies, the heavens, the universe. Feeling your breath connecting the two. Being with your breath in your body, here, now. Opening up to the potential of life itself. Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti. Thank you for being with me. Have a beautiful day, have a beautiful week, whatever it may bring, whether or not it's what you're expecting. And I will see you back here next Monday. And I'm sure I'll be online again before then. And if you're in my Making Space group, I will see you in there for a new practice this week. If you're not, do come and join us. Take care.